Time is money. We all want to make it, yet we really do not want to spend it. In sales, you cannot have one without the other. However, we can try to maximize our return and minimize our costs. How much does a sales call cost? This varies on the industry, but we know that costs are rising and selling is becoming more challenging. Any tool, method, or device that improves the efficiency of selling must be looked at. Social style selling has a proven track record, and many salespeople have already been trained in it. Welcome to 3D selling. You have seen this grid on social style selling before. Adapting your approach to the style of the customer is known to improve closing rates. So why is this not implemented very well in the field? Why is it difficult to coach this selling approach? The answer may be due to the complexity of the platform. There are a host of characteristics for each of these social styles. Some are duplicates, while others are opposites. Trying to picture your client and associating the client with the appropriate characteristics in your head is already difficult. Once the style has been identified, the appropriate approach has to be used, which is more information to remember and process. Now that the approach has been decided, what type of materials and tools should you use with this client? Still more information to remember. Should you use open or closed questions to get and keep the conversation moving forward? Should you be using a more personal approach or diving right into the product? Additional information and choices to make. Finally, there is the issue of follow-up. How soon and what to do? Are we done? Not really. Even if you are doing all of the right things, if your client does not know your product or even the class of product, or has very low potential, you may be wasting your time and your resources. So the sales process must be an integral part of profiling your client. How can social style selling be easier to implement and more consistent in a timely manner? Welcome to 3D selling. Profiling your customer involves a combination of many issues. Two of the key issues are the personality style of the customer and where that customer is in the sales process. Knowing how to approach a customer based on the client's personality style will improve your interaction with that client and will result in higher closing rates. This program offers you a much clearer picture of how to work with your client and takes about 3 minutes prior to a call. You have all been exposed to these axes before, so this is not new to you. The problem is that there are so many variables, it is difficult to plot where a customer fits in a consistent and organized way. This is especially true when we involve the sales process. If it is difficult to plot, then the chances of successful implementation are very slim. To enable a consistent and relatively accurate way of defining your client, 3D selling utilizes 20 questions. The first 5 deal with the sales process, while the following 15 define the personality style. On this continuous scale, use your best judgment to tap on the scale and indicate where you think this client fits on each question. The result will be based on your impressions, which should change over time. As you get to know these questions, your ability to profile this client will improve and the result will become more accurate. The goal is to identify your client so that you can adapt your communication strategy to that client. The green dot indicates where you think your client resides in the sales process. The relevance of this is that you will have a guide that helps you to determine the level of investment and types of tools you can use with this client. Using your resources appropriately will improve your sales. This grid has been split into 16 blocks so that we can define the client more accurately. The areas around the center point of the grid are the neutral zone. These tell you that your impression of this client needs further definition. You may want to repeat this exercise after the call and see if your impression of this client has changed. In this example, we have established that this client is a driver. This screen is designed to help you prepare your communication strategy for this client. You can further confirm that by taking a closer look at the characteristics of a driver. Next, we look at the approaches to use when facing a driver. The style of questions to use is next, followed by the use of materials. And finally, some examples of words and questions you can model your questions after. All explanations follow the same pattern other than the ones in the neutral zone. You have reached the end of this 3D selling app. By swiping left, you are ready to profile your next customer. Using an iPad to run the 3D selling app is also an option. As you can see, the app runs and looks the same as it does on the BlackBerry. We hope that you have enjoyed this short description of the 3D selling app. So let's wrap this up. 3D selling is a salesperson's tool for developing a customized communication strategy based on the sales process and social style selling. This tool engages the salesperson to implement social style sales training. Using 3D selling on a consistent basis will help the salesperson become an excellent profiler and thus achieve better results. 3D selling is a safe program, as it does not affect any other program, nor does it save or retrieve data. It is easy to load, quick to use, and inexpensive to purchase. We hope that you have enjoyed this short description of our 3D selling app.